Hello, I'm Dynasty Demir.
Our ancestors are calling and making the cosmic effort also. So we just need to now add the physical effort to match what is going on cosmically today, you know. So I really feel like we can't give up on unifying ourselves towards our emancipation. But the fact that we as motherland people go through the most immense of oppression and racism and subjugation.
Worse than black Americans.
Worse than black Americans.
You think so, really? Because it's just, they don't...
Listen.
Are you for real?
Yeah. I'll take you to Africa.
I'm always in Africa.
Yeah, but where are you? Where are you staying?
Poverty that people...
Well, it's not...
Where are you staying in Africa?
I stay in Ife, I stay in Osogbo.
Where?
I stay in my friend's house. I mean, my friend's house.
Yeah.
My thing is...
Let me take you to some neighborhood. You won't last 1 week.
Well, let me take you to Skid Row in America.
All they have is guns. They were escaping with some guns, but I will survive if they didn't want to shoot me. Nobody will want to shoot you in these places I'll take you to. But I'm sure you want to go back to the States or at least move to my house in 3 days.
Well, I understand.
You'll be like, Seun, take me out. I'm a celebrity. Get me out of here.
No, but what I'm saying is, the thing that, again, I've seen some parts in Africa, but the worst I've seen is Skid Row in LA. I've not seen anything worse than Skid Row in LA.
You've not been to some parts of it. You know, when you go to Africa too, Africans don't like showing the worst.
No, I go everywhere. Watch my page. I go everywhere. Ask John. I go everywhere. I've seen it. Nothing's worse than Skid. Have you been to Skid Row?
I've not been to Skid Row, but I've been to my family house in Freetown. We didn't have a toilet until 2014.
Go to Skid Row in LA and then tell me if it's worse.
We didn't have a toilet. People don't have shoes. They don't have running water. They don't have electricity.
Well, this is not. Let's not do like who is suffering. I hate when we do like who is suffering the most.
Well, what I'm saying is, it's not even about who's suffering the most. It's about the scale of suffering that exists in Africa with African people in comparison to what people are dealing with here. It's not even on the same. It's not even on the same. It's not in the same realm of reality. It's not in the same realm of reality. You cannot argue. And on top of that, not only do you have extreme poverty, you have high death rates. Like half of our family just was wiped out last year and the year before because the healthcare system is terrible. So there's no comparison in terms of the scale and what it is like for the vast majority of Africans in Africa. Like you can't compare you can't compare that to Skid Row here in the United States. Like the amount of poverty, the scale of poverty, the way that people are suffering is the case for many more Africans in Africa than it is the case for people here.
I mean, how many Americans will relocate to Africa? Like migrate to Africa?
I do eventually.
Trust me, Africans are entering the Mediterranean and they can't even swim just to get to Europe. You know, that's how you know the poverty is real. You know,
malaria kills more people in Africa than AIDS.
I would say this. I think a lot of this stuff can be avoided easily.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We're not talking about what would be. We're talking about what is. We're talking about what is. So malaria kills more people in Africa than AIDS or any other disease. We're talking about a mosquito. We're not talking about like, you know what I'm saying? We're talking about a mosquito.
Also, how many African Americans or ADOS migrate to Mexico?
Why? Why would they go to Mexico?
Exactly, because the suffering here. Wait, let me finish. The suffering here. The suffering here is not as bad as the suffering in Mexico. Just Mexico next door.
No, I'm gonna tell you.
And they know.
No, the reason why ADOS don't want to go to Mexico because they know the blood equity they have here in America that's owed to them.
They have it too in Mexico. I mean, black people are owed money everywhere. If you're going to go to that way, we are owed money everywhere in this world. Every nation owes us money.
True.
Right. Exactly. If we're going to go that way, everybody owes us something.
True.
So don't say it's because they don't owe you money in Mexico, you don't want to go there.
No.
They owe you money there too. They owe you money everywhere. But we just choose to collect the American one. If that's what we're after. Still, it is not enough reason not to connect to the larger struggle of African emancipation as motherland people.
And let's talk about unemployment rate. Let's talk about life expectancy. Let's talk about infant mortality. Let's talk about women's mortality in the process of childbirth. Let's talk about access to healthcare. Let's talk about starvation, hunger. All of those things are huge scale in Africa for a large number of people.
I'm
I'm one generation away from people who had to fill their mouth at a spigot every day just to be able to eat. So this idea that Skid Row, I mean, it's actually insulting, really, to think about. It's insulting for people to downplay the power of oppression in Africa and the fact that it comes from an elite class of people. So
in cahoots with
who are in cahoots with white supremacists, and not only do they have to suffer these the physical manifestations, i.e. the hunger, the life expectancy and all the rest of that, but people deal with their lives as if they're chickens. So if you say the wrong thing to the wrong person at the wrong time, you will disappear. That's it. There's not going to be any news coverage. There's not going to be any march. There's not going to be any protest. There's not going to be anything about you. You're just gone.
The thing is that your family
And this happens all
you.
the time. It happens all the time. It happens all the time. It's normal. It's normal. Look at all the countries in West Africa, and I'm just talking about West Africa, that have undergone civil strife in the last 20 years.
Everyone except Nigeria.
So what are we talking about? What are we talking about?
I'm Senegal.
You know, like my family is Sierra Leonean. I have cousins who had to sleep under a bed for the duration of the Civil War. Who's doing that here in the United States?
I'm saying, but we dealt with that over time and put in blood equity, so we didn't have to deal with it.
Yeah, but we've been dealing with it. We didn't stop.
It never stopped in Africa.
In Africa,
it never stopped. It never stopped.
It doesn't stop.
So from the time of the beginning of the transatlantic slave trade
Right.
till today, Africans are still dealing with that. It's just in blackface, like he's talking about.
And also, another thing about Africa as well is that most people forget to put into perspective that a whole generation of leadership was wiped out. Lumumba, Nkrumah, Bembela, Sekou Touré, Sankara, you know, Steve Biko, you know.
They're coming from a
And just the way, you know, like
Haile Selassie.
Selassie,
They got him
it's
at the
contestable,
end.
you know,
Yeah.
to talk about him is okay. He's a monarch. I don't like to praise or.
I understand.
I'm not talking about a monarch, but let me go back to what I'm saying. You know, like we always forget to understand. Oh, I lost what I was gonna say just now. Yeah, that not only does white supremacy look to dismantle black leadership, they also look to replace black leadership, to strengthen black leadership that is detrimental to black people. So that's why the Black Panthers could have been destroyed, but black gangs are still left to thrive. Mm-hmm. The outright murders of people like Fred Hampton, many Black Panther leaders to weaken the system. That same tactics can be used against these drug dealers and gangsters, and nobody would care. Mm-hmm. Nobody would march on the streets, but they don't do that. The cops act like they don't know where the stash house is. But every little child in the fucking hood knows where the stash house is. But the cops don't know.
The cops know.
And when they know, they start saying they need all this paperwork and reason and pay to go and do their jobs. But not when they want to kill an innocent black kid that is unarmed. They don't think about paperwork and all that kind of things there. Mm-hmm. Right? So we also have to look in Africa, in the African American society, why some leaders were dealt with the way they were and why others were left to thrive and even have federal government contracts to back them, even though they are anti-American, e.g. the Nation of Islam.
Oh, okay.
And Mr. Louis Farrakhan.
Okay.
Hello? I know, I'll call you back. Or come to my room. Come to my room. You're killing my... Come to my room. What if you didn't have mobile phones? This mobile phone has made everybody lazy. Remember when we didn't have these things? Everybody, you have to go where you gotta go. And when you want to go and see your friend in his house, you go with the Lord. You can't call him. You don't know where he is. You just go, you're like, he's gonna be home. You will him to be home. You win him there, home. Anyway, so as I was saying, so